So, I've been having a lot of fun on the standard mode ladder with Deathrattle Hunter. For you guys that have been following my channel in the last few weeks, you've seen a video on it. I love Deathrattle Hunter, I love Death Rattles, I love playing Deathstalker Rexxar in particular. If you can get Rexxar down early, getting that infinite value is just amazing. But yeah, Deathrattle Hunter essentially took me from, what, rank 4, I think, to rank 2. The struggle for me, though, was getting to rank 1. And I hit a bit of a brick wall. I don't know if it was how I was playing the deck. I don't know if it was my opponents getting tougher as we went towards rank 1. But I was struggling a little bit, and I thought, okay, maybe it's time to retire the Deathrattle Hunter and to play a deck that's perhaps more defined as a tier 1 deck to get to rank 1. But that doesn't change the fact that, you know, getting lethal through Devil Saws and King Krush, it's pretty good feeling. And in this case, we have King Krush, the ultimate Devil Saw, leading his army of Devil Saws. Certainly worth a screenshot there. Don't see how my opponent can get through this. I don't think there's a way. Maybe a charging poisonous beast that does damage to the rest of the board, poisons the entire board and then kills it off. That's the only sort of thing that I can see, but yeah, it's game over, right? Oh look, a 4/4 taunt, which now becomes a 6/6 taunt. Yeah. King Krush leading the way to victory. But in order to get rank 1, I decided it was time to switch to Token Druid. That's right. It is very much a tier 1 deck, and some of you watching this will be looking at this and thinking, oh god, he's playing Druid. In Wild, I've pretty much refused to play Combo Druid because I got the feeling at the start of the Boomsday expansion that it was just disgustingly overpowered, and I just felt bad playing it, and therefore I went out of my way to start playing decks that could disrupt Combo Druid. That's where I started to find my fun on the Wild Mode ladder. But this is standard mode, and needing a bit of a break from Wild Mode, and I really want rank 1 on standard. I don't often get rank 1 on standard, I usually hit rank 1 on Wild. But this season I really fancy getting rank 1 on standard mode, and therefore I thought, okay, if Deathrattle Hunter isn't doing it for me, then maybe I do need to play Token Druid or some kind of Druid, because Druid, as we know, is probably the most overpowered class in Hearthstone at the moment. It's having its day in the sun, it's shining. So instead of playing Togwaggle Druid, which I really don't like because it is it's similar to Starliner Druid, right? You look to pull off this ridiculous combo at the key point in the game. Instead of playing that, I wanted to play Token Druid, and really your most overpowered turn on Token Druid is playing Whispering Woods with Soul of the Forest. So essentially having 2 layers of minions on the board, so even if they wipe out the first layer, you get the second layer back, and then you can essentially play Savage Roar and Branching Paths, buff attack power, and win the game. So that is the strategy in this deck. Let's have a look at it in action on the standard mode ladder as I go for rank 1. Okay, so we're going up against a rogue, and this is my first game playing this deck, so please forgive me if the mulligans are not correct. But I thought keeping Swipe is sensible, because it's Odd Rogue, and it's very likely that HenchClan Thug will be coming out on his turn 3. And that's a card that can just run away with the game if you let it, so you need a solution to it, and Swipe is that solution. This deck can have quite a slow start to begin with, and as you can see, really there's nothing much for me to do. Now, I am going to bump my face into the mole. I'm not sure if that's the correct play, but thinking ahead to turn 4 and Swipe, or turn 3 coin Swipe, yep, because there's the Thug, as predicted. Swiping the Thug puts the mole down to 1 health, which then puts it in range of another hero power to kill it. So that was my reason for putting my face into it earlier on. Just trying to think ahead.
The light protects me.
Okay, so he's developing, well, his own tokens, really, at this point. I have Whispering Woods, but I'm not going to play it, because I don't have Soul of the Forest handy, and either way, if I play Whispering Woods, he'd kill off most of them, right? And of course, it's turn 5. He has Mushroom Power. As to be expected, this dude is drawing like a boss. Turn 3 Thug, turn 5 Mushroom Power. Yeah. And I'm looking at my hand and I'm thinking, oh god, this hand doesn't seem to do very much. If it was turn 6, we could Whispering Woods and Power of the Wild, but it's not.
Now,
But are we just forced to Whispering Woods anyway? I think we are. Feels bad. Because we know that the majority of these are probably going to die. 4 of them are certainly going to die. And we'll only be left with 2. And he can still use 6 mana to develop stuff onto the board. Yeah. Hello indeed, Giggling Inventor. Not what you want to see. That's interesting. He left a 3rd alive. He could have killed 1 more of those, but he valued the face damage. That's interesting. I guess he feels pretty safe behind the Annoytrons. And right now I'm thinking to myself, what do I do here? You see, I could Whispering Woods Power of the Wild, but I want to save this other copy of Whispering Woods. Whispering Woods feels like my win condition with Soul of the Forest and Savage Roar. So just playing Power of the Wild here to buff the 1/1s seems okay, because I can kill off both Annoytrons, and ramping up a little bit there seems sensible. At this stage of the game, would I really want to save that copy of Wild Growth for turn 10 to draw a card? Probably not. But this hand still feels weak. He's going to deal with my board really easily and use 7 mana to develop, so it feels like we're a step behind him. But maybe I'm just playing this deck incorrectly. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Oh look, another Mushroom Power. That's pretty good for him, and it seems as if he's going face and doing a bit of trading. Seems sensible. He's whittling me down. My health total is slowly depleting. He's doing a good job, by the way, of doing that and maintaining a level of board presence. Yeah, good player confirmed in this rogue. Armor gain seemed sensible there. The question now is, do I want to use a second branching paths to draw cards, or to gain more armor? Maybe armor plus a little bit of card draw is the way forward. Or maybe I should have been more focused on drawing cards and worrying less about my health total. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm playing this incorrectly. but this is game number 1 for me, so please do forgive me. 4 cards in hand for the odd rogue. And he's really taking his time to think here. I'm not sure what's taking so long. If I were him, I would just commit everything and just go face, because you've got to get through the armor. The armor is a real problem. You've got to pound your way through it.
Well played.
What he's probably afraid of, though, is spreading plague, which I don't have.
I wonder.
He doesn't know that, though.
Ha, this guy's toast.
Okay, so he's taking his time there. He has gone wide on the board. 4 minions. Okay, and he's eaten through most of that armor. So I have the Violet Teacher, and I could play Violet Teacher and Nourish, which would draw cards, get me 1 token on board. What does that do, though? That does nothing. He kills the Violet Teacher very easily, or he ignores the Violet Teacher, goes face, and I'm pretty much dead. So yeah, Violet Teacher plus Giggling Inventor seems like the best option here. Just gets maximum board presence going for me. Minion presence. So we're making work really hard here to kill off the Anoitrons. And then he's going to kill the Violet Teacher, of course. Of course. No? You hit my face? Oh dear. He's just left a Violet Teacher on board. That's really interesting. Maybe he feels like he's got lethal insights and the Violet Teacher doesn't matter, but spreading plague, that's a card. And now we have Spreading Plague, we have Soul of the Forest. Yeah. He's now got to get through this.
Instruction begins.
And just looking to remove as much from his board as possible. I was contemplating popping the Divine Shield of the other Anoitron, but no. Let's see how he gets through this board. There are 4 big taunts in the way. Okay, there's a Cold Blood that's not going face. That's good. Can he kill off everything here? I believe he can. However, there's a load of 2/2s on the board. I have a full board. And now we just start trading and we win the game. Oh look, here's some taunts. Bit of a misplay there. I missed a token. Oh look, 2 Arcane Tyrants. Hey, maybe I don't want 1/1 tokens on the board at this stage of the game. Maybe Giggling Inventor, double Arcane Tyrant is the way to go to win this.
I shall do as you say. I shall do as you say.
Instruction begins.
Yes, on reflection, missing out that initial 1/1 token was a good call, because look, I've got these 2 Treants on board, I've got double Anoitron, a 4/4 and a 2/1. Yeah, that's better than having a 1/1 on the board. So yeah, not a misplay at all, just worked out better in the long run. And now all we need is Savage Roar and win the game. Oh, actually, we don't even need Savage Roar. This is a game over regardless. And actually goes to prove the card. Oh, look, there it is. The potential for this deck to make a comeback is huge. All due to 1 card. Spreading Plague. Wow. Okay, next game is against a Shaman. Now, whenever you see Shaman on the standard mode ladder, what do you think of? On standard, even Shaman is certainly not a thing, right? Whereas on Wild, it's all that you see. On standard, it's just Shadowwalk Shaman, I believe.
Truth is found.
Who, of course, gets Keleseth on turn 2. Why not? Killing that seems sensible. He paid 2 mana for his card. I paid 1 mana for my removal. Seems okay. Although his 2 mana card has just buffed his entire deck.
Let the pain
Oh
speak
god.
to me.
This'll be good.
Next turn, we can Oaken Summons coin removal. So that'll only draw him 1 card. I think the key for us is going to be to kill him before he pulls off his Shadowwalk turn.
Pay attention, class.
I'm ready to learn.
So in order to kill him off, we need to develop a board presence, probably Soul of the Forest it, and then Savage Roar his face. To stop us getting there, this deck runs Volcanoes. So that's what we've got to be cautious of, Volcanoes. And probably Lightning Storms as well, potentially. The question is, can he kill off the Violet Teacher on this turn? That's the question. Would he want to play Volcano now, just to get rid of it? No, he's not going to kill it, or can't kill it. He's just going to trade. Okay.
I shall do as you say.
So Giggling Inventor here, really good roadblock.
Instruction begins.
And I'm just doing what comes naturally here. I'm just going to trade, keep the board clear.
Engaging TC-130.
Just put us at risk of Lightning Storm on the Violet Teachers. It's at 2 health, but fine. Mind Control Tech just feels so dirty here, but fair enough.
I'm ready to
This'll be good.
So I've used 1 copy of Soul of the Forest. Was that the optimal time to do so? I'm not sure. But I see I have a 2nd copy in hand, so I felt reasonably comfortable doing so. And I think the reasoning behind that play is just to create a bit of pressure on board. But he's going to kill these minions, and we're going to get 2/2s out of it. And we're just going to keep trying to push damage. There's the Lightning Storm. Okay. Okay, we still get 3 minions on board though. Which we're going to use to trade, obviously.
The circle of life is over.
Change of plan. We go face. So what am I counting on here? I'm counting on keeping a board presence. Because I've just realised I have double branching paths in hand. Who needs Savage Roar when you can buff attack power with branching paths? And actually, how much damage is this? 6, 7, 8. So we've got 8 on board, plus 2 on each minion, another 2 on each minion. That's lethal. Yeah. When that realization hits that you have branching paths lethal, it feels pretty good. Okay, final game here. This gets to Warlock. And I think my confidence with this deck is starting to build ever so slightly. Keeping Wild Growth seems sensible. Keeping Swipe to deal with a minion seems sensible. UI, bit early, but I guess if we draw Nourish, then it's pretty good to have in hand, right? But we need to draw the Nourish. At the very least, we know what we're doing on turn 2. We're playing Wild Growth every time. And what kind of a Warlock is this? Bit of a slow start here. Nothing much to do.
This'll be good.
But then I guess his start's pretty slow as well. Okay, that doesn't give very much away. But the Doomsayer, that's really interesting. Nourish is wonderful to have here. Getting closer to Ultimate Infestation.
This'll be good.
The Doomsayer suggests to me that this is more than likely Q-Block. You don't see much Q-Block anymore. Popularity of that deck has waned a bit. And wow, he's really desperate for me not to play anything at all here, not to develop anything at all. Just slightly annoying because as we head closer to turn 10, our Ultimate Infestation needs room in our hand here to work with.
This'll be good. This'll be good.
Okay. I was thinking for a second, is it worth investing anything to kill the Doomsayer just to clear our hand out? Probably not. And there it is. There's Skull of the Minari. We know for sure now. We know for sure that this is Q-Block. So, what are the chances he has a Void Lord on the next turn? I would argue that we are unfavoured against Q-Block with this deck, purely because getting through all those taunts is such a pain, and even with Soul of the Forest on a big board, we've still got to keep trading multiple times into those threats, into those double-layered taunts, you know, Void Lords bringing out Void Walkers, really, really hard. He didn't have a Void Lord on that last turn, so maybe our only hope here, our only way of winning is just to go all in now with Whispering Woods, buff the board, go face, and just hope and pray that all he gets are Doom Guards. Because Doom Guards, we don't especially care about at this point of the game. We will care later when he plays Gul'dan and gets them all back to life, but for the time being, we just need to see if we can kill him. Again, no Void Lord. That's really, really good for us. So we know for sure there is no Void Lord in hand. If he trades the 2/2 Lackey, I guess he's likely to get a Void Lord. No, that'd be a Doom Guard. Feels pretty good. Which means he's just dead next turn, right? There goes my board. And there's the Dark Pact. Oh, feels bad, man. Feels really, really bad. And all of a sudden, this game has turned. Just like that. Double swipe in hand, double UI in hand. So I was contemplating UIing the face, just to get him down a bit more. But, feel a bit safer getting rid of the Doomguard. I don't know, maybe I should have UI'd the face.
Yes. Oh, yes. They'll serve me now.
Because now, double swipe plus UI, that's 13. What if he heals again?
The circle of life.
It's interesting, he tapped on that last turn, which of course, as I say, has put him in range of double swipe UI.
Light and rot.
This is fine though. We can use the Druid Hero power here to keep pushing damage and then hit him with double swipe and win the game. I think that's going to be our plan. But there's no Void Lord. It's really interesting. Those Void Lords are stuck in his deck somewhere, refusing to make an appearance. Oh wow, he damages his face even more. And he thinks this is his way to victory. Oh, I feel really bad for this guy. Double swipe wins the game. I mean, had we used swipes on an earlier turn, and if we were forced to try and win the game through tokens, we would not have won. So there we go. Rank 1 beating Cubelock. Feels amazing. Feels pretty amazing. Okay, so Zealand's Token Druid. What do I think of this deck? Well, you saw in this video, half the time I didn't have a clue what I was doing. In fact, this was my first experience playing the deck, and things went pretty well. We are undefeated with this deck in the small number of games that we've played to get to rank 1. So it is proof that Druid is ridiculously overpowered at this point, that you can take a Druid deck, not know what you're doing, and still win games. But hey, it got me to rank 1, which is what I wanted, and for the first time in a long time, I am further ahead in standard mode than I am in wild. And that's pretty surprising for me. But you know, I think maybe it's a sign of the times. In wild, at the moment, all I've been facing is Togwaggle Druid, Star Aligner Druid, Big Priest. It's been pretty annoying, pretty frustrating to play against, which is one reason why I've taken a little run over to standard mode just for a bit, just to see what things are like. But yeah, getting rank 1 with this deck feels good. Now that I'm at rank 1, I don't care. I'll just start playing rubbish decks and just have a bit more fun. But yeah, just as a solid deck that can power through ranks, Token Druid seems to do the job. So, thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys all again very soon for more wild or standard mode fun.